Today we are blessed. We are going to dive deep into the mentality of an artist, how these pieces of art flow out of their minds, what's happening, how creativity works, and how it is defined, especially at this time of the pandemic and what's happening nowadays. It's a difficult time. Ramona, could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
Hi. Thank you for inviting me, Noor. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your podcast, and we have some amazing people on here. So thank you very much. I am an artist and an athlete. I live in Florida right now, and I just actually we were talking about this earlier. I just got home from my ride. I ride every morning my Trike T12 Roadster. It is an amazing machine. It's like downhill skiing on the road, sidewalks, which are more safe. But I do that in the morning, and all I can think about is what I'm going to paint when I get home. I have been painting for years. I've been an artist since I was a little kid. My mom is an artist. Everyone in my family is artistically inclined in some way. And it's just something that I got an opportunity about 5 years ago to expand my talent with lessons from this famous Russian teacher. And that was a gift, a Christmas gift from my daughter to me. So she showed me so many things and opened my eyes and gave me so much confidence. And after that, probably 6 months later, I had my first show in a commercial building, and it was a 6 month show. And I actually set a record there for selling the most paintings over a 6 month period during the exhibition.
Wow,
So
wow.
it really helped me feel confident and strong as an artist. But I paint because I need to. I get joy out of it. I Some paintings I dream of, be I'm dreaming of, and then I wake up. I will sometimes wake up at 4 in the morning and just paint for hours, and then everybody else is getting up, and I'm like, okay, wash my hands, go for a ride, and I'll come back and take a nap. But I have paint on my kitchen floor. I don't care. If it's wet, if I see it when it's wet, I'll wipe it up. But if it dries, that's all right. I have the special graffiti stuff that removes it.
Okay, so my first question here, like, how do you generate the ideas? How do you get the idea for a new painting? How does it happen to your brain?
I am lucky in a way that I had some traumatic brain injuries. And so it got rid of some sort of a filter or a blockage. And so, like I said, some paintings I dream of. I dream of them, and it's nature. All of my inspiration is from nature, whether it's geological formations, trees, mostly trees. I paint a lot of trees too, um, but it's nature and the sky, the water, or a feeling. Like I just did a project with Canlock. They're a storage jar company, and I created two paintings for them that were reminiscent of a smoky room. So, yeah, if I need to go in a certain direction, I am open to input from people. Like if I'm doing a project for someone and they say, hey, these are my colors and this is the feeling that I want, because I'm an abstract artist. I don't paint like what your background behind you is beautiful. I don't paint scenes like that. My work is more fluid and vivacious, and my brand is Vivace. So my art is branded under my Vivace brand, my Vivace label, which is, just the word itself is vibrancy and life and excitement. So my branding guy, Chris Power Gomez, he helped me develop this brand, and he's working with me. So I don't do this alone. I have help. I have mentors. I have people who teach me. So, and I support other artists, and I um, validate other artists, and I learn from other artists. And I think that's the best way that you can grow, not only as an artist, but as a human being, by supporting each other, validating each other, and lifting each other up, and really appreciating some of the artists out there. I mean, there's a guy just down the road from me. His name is James Griffin. He has an art studio down here. Before COVID hit, I had planned on taking classes from him because he's also on LinkedIn and he posts his work. And I really admire the feeling and the look of his work. And that, he and I had a discussion. I'm like, oh, I can't paint buildings and things like that. And he says, you will become a better abstract artist if you can paint things in their, actual form. And he's right. He's right. So we've never had a chance to have that class, but we're still connected. And that doesn't mean we won't have an opportunity in the future.
Okay, so like speaking about your friends and your colleagues, like when you guys meet, like artists meeting artists, what do you usually talk about?
Well, actually, it's kind of silly because I'm connected to a group called the Artocalypse. Chris Shaw, Kimberly R.L., a bunch of people, Jonah Heiza, Judy Miko, they're all part of it. And they, it's just a space to get together off LinkedIn where we just throw creative ideas out there. I'm not as active as other people, as the rest of the group, because I've been working on some other stuff, but I'm always welcome there. But there's poetry that goes out there. Liz Ripple is in there. I mean, there's poetry, there's comedy, there's goofy stuff. I mean, we just kind of play off of each other, and one person will have an idea and another person will, expound upon that. And then they have a virtual art show that they do. So I'm not sure, I asked them to deactivate my space so they could use it for someone else because I'm working on a big project. So they just give a platform for artists to get together, showcase their work, get feedback and support from other artists. And then Chris Shaw puts together this whole virtual art show that I'm sure there's one coming up any day now or any weekend now. But now that the holidays are over, but yeah, it's just a collaborative space where they will collaborate. One project they did was video live art show in a park, along with poetry and music. So one of the artists is a saxophone player. She's amazing. I mean, so we are this community of people that are just, I think we're a lot of fun to be with. We're kind of the cool kids. Everybody's got paint on them somewhere, or, it's just a fun space to be in.
So, like through your journey and being open-minded, what exactly did you learn? Like, what are the main ideas you have learned from the other people?
Oh, that's such a good question. The main thing that I have learned from other people is how incredibly talented they are. That's what I learned from other people. And there are not just one talent that's obvious. There are all these other hidden talents. So I think that's the thing that I learned the most. And it's not anything that I'm surprised by, because I know everyone has talents, but it's just amazing to see the recipe in each person and their unique talent that they have, and how it's all put together to make them the package that they are. That is a joy to be around. Someone like Rachel Beck, like, she's immensely talented and just a wonderful person, but all she does is give out love. And that's who I've surrounded myself with, is people who give out love.
That is amazing. So my other question is more challenging here. Like, what main modifications or what main changes to your own painting style did you have to go through?
Oh, when I first started, the teacher that I had, like I said, she was amazing. But the technique she taught was layering. You lay the background, you put the furthest thing away, and then you work your way up to the front of the painting. And so then I started experimenting with fluid acrylic. So, and that's something that I'm not a control freak, but in my painting, when I first started, painting, if I made a mistake, I would freak out, be like, oh, I have to start over from scratch instead of painting over it or trying to figure out a way to make it work. But with this new technique just new techniques that I'm learning from other people, and I'm creating my own signature, my own brand. And it was getting the right product. That was the thing I learned. It was a trial and error, but also new products have come out on the market that make what I do easier and kind of almost foolproof. I mean, I'm the one who winds up messing up the painting somehow. Like I'll stick my fingers in it, or a piece of my hair will fall in it and it'll leave a mark that I just can't get over. But the hardest thing for me was letting go of control. Because working with fluid stuff, you sort of have control, but it's kind of like a tornado on a string. There's an illusion of control, but you don't really have control.
That is great to say. So my other question here, like, could you take us through a journey to look at some of your works and explain how you produce these works?
Sure. The first one I'll show you is a fluid pour. And what I did was I poured a metallic white and a regular white on the bottom, and then a blue on the top. And it was flat. It's got to be flat to start with. So my surface isn't exactly level, so I have to shim it. But so once I made sure that the blue and the white landed together how I wanted them to, I took this cup. See how it's got the little ridges on it? And I laid it down right there. And I poured the paint from the top, not around the handles, but on the top and the bottom in different layers. Then I lifted it up. I moved the painting around, make it go where I wanted to. And then once I set it down, I took my sparkle paint and just drizzled it through there and then moved it around a little bit to make it sparkle and look like that. So I haven't signed them yet. I don't sign these because I don't know how someone's going to hang them. So I don't sign them on the front. I think I'm gonna start putting my fingerprints on the back because I have so much paint hanging around, I could just grab a fingerprint. So that's one of them.
Okay.
And this one is this was basically, I took all my paint is right here. It's really flowy, fluidy. It's very fluid. You can pour it really easy. And I pour it into a plastic cup, and the paint doesn't mix. That's the important thing. The paint doesn't mix together. If I pour it in really hard, like right in the center, but you get different effects depending on how you pour the paint. So I poured the paint gently into the cup. It's yellow, blue, and silver paint. And I wanted to give the illusion of water going down the drain. So that way,
okay.
Yeah, so that's how that one went. So what I did was once I put the paint in the cup, I had to put something on the surface of the canvas first because the paint has to have something to flow on over. So you have to have something on the surface first. So either a medium or a white paint or a silver paint, whatever color I want. And then I take the cup, I hold it, and as I hold it, paint starts pouring out, I make tiny little movements like that. And then I work my way down and just work my way down. And then I got that strip because when I was at the end of it, I wanted this look. So I drug it. I just let the paint drip up and back down to the center. And that's how I got that look.
Wow.
And then I got one more because I love metallics. So this is a nice gold and purple. And I just laid this down flat and I put, I covered the whole thing in paint so the rest of it would slide. And I put, and I poured this paint directly onto the canvas this time. I poured purple and orange, and then I slid it around. And then once it looked how I wanted it to look, I poured the gold in there. And then I slid it around. And the cool thing is that the paint doesn't blend. They sit on top of each other. And there's a little bit of white here that's just kind of floating over that orange. That is just kind of this ghost effect that I really, really like. But those are just three. But, you know, I like that metallic because when you walk by it and it's hanging in your house, it's like the painting is alive. You know, like you can't help but look at it. It catches your eye every time. So there you go.
That is more than awesome, Ramona. Like, I really love that. So my other question is, you validate other artists' paintings. What criteria or what kind of things do you look at in their painting?
I look at how it makes me feel instantly, like as soon as I see it. I don't judge like, oh, I see maybe they did something this way or that way, because that's a cool thing about being an artist is your interpretation is the way it is. Like, what if I wanted my chicken to be skinny with a giant head, like man feet? That could be my chicken, you know. I like seeing other people's creativity. And how they do things. Like sometimes I can't even decide which, like today, or a few days ago, Maureen Fletcher, she's an artist, and she made these screensavers, and there's 5 of them, and she asked the question, which one do you like best? I can't choose because I like them all. And I don't have a criteria other than I'm so happy they're showing their work. And I think everybody is an artist in one way or another. And I see art in, like, when I see Chef Andre, when I see him cooking, that's an art. I can't do that. When I see the words that Kristen Olson Cott puts together, that's an art. I mean, she paints a picture. That's an art. And my only criteria is, how does it make me feel? And I think I'm a happy person anyway, so I'm gonna see things in a happy frame of mind.
Okay, so one more question here. Like, mention one person whom you would like to send a message to, and say what the message is.
And which message would that be? Like which?
It's your choice, Ramona.
I would like to send a message to Stephen DeSadie of Soul Shifters. And I would like to say, thank you for the love that you put out into this world. And I know that love came from heartbreak and the loss of Nathaniel. And I want to thank everyone who's part of the Soul Shifters crew. That community is so beautiful and loving and supportive and kind. And a lot of the people whose names I've said today, they are part of that community. So I just want to say thank you, Stephen DeSadie, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the Soul Shifters. So thank you. It's emotional because these people are amazing. They're really amazing people.
You are, Ramona. You are. It has been more than emotional and more than amazing talking to you, Ramona. Thank you so much for that, indeed. And with this so fantastic and so artistic touch and your amazing paintings. Thank you so much for that, indeed, Ramona.
Thank you, Nour, for inviting me. And I am so grateful to be here. And thank you. Thank you so much. Much